The Legendary Akira is finally on its way, and it's being accompanied with the Legendary Valdore. That's right, folks, the Legendary Akira and Legendary Mogai have finally been officially announced. They're going to be bundled together into one Legendary bundle, which will be releasing in about 2 weeks. Usually we only get these 10-4 weekly previews a week in advance of release, but today we're getting them 2 weeks in advance because of some scheduling issues, so yeah, we're getting this one a bit early. They also said the full blog announcement probably won't be coming until next week either, so that'll probably be coming out on the 5th, and then the full bundle will likely be released probably around the 13th. I'll get this part out of the way now. We don't know the name of the Legendary Bundle yet, but we do know its price, and that it is going to be 12,000 Zen at base price, and have a 30% off sale at launch, which that'll probably last about a week or two. Which really shouldn't be that much of a surprise because that is the same price that the Legendary Romulan Warbird bundle was, and that also included 2 legendary ships. Ooh, actually, the Legendary Warbird bundle had a launch sale of 35% off. Huh, that's interesting. In the announcements phase, this stuff is always subject to change, and while it doesn't always change, hopefully that is something that changes. Anyway, let's get on to what we're all really here for, and that is the ships. First off, we'll take a look at the Legendary Akira. Here she is, the Legendary Akira, or what they're calling the Masamoto class, which, as you can see in the picture, is a TMP-inspired Akira class. The name of the Masamoto class is inspired by the creator of Space Battleship Yamato, Keiji Masamoto. I absolutely love the look of this ship. I mean, not only is it an Akira class, but now it is a TMP-era Akira class, and it works so well. Like, I don't have words for it. I love this ship. It's gorgeous, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Now, I'm sure a number of you already know that I have been campaigning for a Legendary Akira for quite some time, so much so that I even made my own theory-crafted stats for my own hypothetical Legendary Akira. And while this isn't the Legendary Akira command warship I was hoping for, well, let's just dive into the stats. Well, good news, it's a command ship, so it can be made into a torpedo build, which makes a lot of sense because the Akira is canonically a torpedo boat. Don't know why people still fight me on that, because the thing's got like 16 torpedo tubes on it. But being a command ship is pretty much the only similarity this ship has to what my theorycraft was, because they actually made this Akira a multi-mission cruiser. So this means that the ship will have 8 weapon slots, but also will have 1 hangar bay. The downside being that it won't be an escort, so it's going to have more engineering-focused seating than tactical. Though that said, it is still a very tactical-focused ship. You can see here that it has a 5-3 weapons layout, which I was hoping for 4-4, so you can get more mines in the back, but I feel like 5-3 is going to be better for the broader player base, because I know most people wanted a 5-3 so they can put like a scatter volley or beam overload on it. An energy weapon build option is also going to be further supported by the fact that this also has a secondary Lieutenant Commander Miracle Worker seat. So this thing could be either a torpedo build or a beam build, whichever one you prefer. Speaking of the bridge officer seating, there is one very big error on this, in that it was given a second command seat. You can see a lieutenant level command seat on here on this tactical seat. This is actually supposed to be a Lieutenant Commander tactical seat with no specialization on it. Apparently on the back end, the commands for a Lieutenant Commander tactical seat and a Lieutenant level command seat, they're very similar, so this is sort of like the bridge officer seating equivalent of a typo. Jonathan Herlock did confirm on the live stream that that will be fixed by the time this goes live. I've noticed a couple of other weird things about this ship's stats too. For one, it only has 2 device slots, and changing this thing to a multi-mission cruiser, that should have 4. Also, it has a lot of tactical consoles, which I'm not complaining about. If they want to keep that like that, that's fine with me, but I don't think I've ever seen a cruiser with 5 tactical slots. That seems like a lot. Just saying. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering how much of this is actually going to change by the time the official blog goes live next week, because this clearly doesn't have the amount of polish that we usually see on 10-4 Weekly, because we are getting this a week earlier than we usually see these. Now, this is a proper legendary ship, so it will have all the consoles and the starship traits from the older style Akiras. I know you only see the old point defense system console here, but it will have the full Akira set on here. But this will also come with its own legendary starship trait, which is like this tier 6 mastery. That trait will unlock on your whole account once you finish the mastery on it. That trait is called Torpedo Command and Control. The trait itself is a little weird. It's meant to be a gradual overtime debuff to kinetic damage resistance for your enemies. The debuff is only applied in small windows, but it lasts for like 2 minutes. So after you activate a command ability for 6 seconds, your pets will have a debuff of -2.5 that will stack and will last for 120 seconds. And every time you activate a Miracle Worker ability, the same debuff will be applied, but from your own kinetic weapons. So functionally, it will be decent for a torpedo build, or at least okay for a torpedo build. But frankly, it's not a big debuff, and the fact that you only have so much time to apply it, and while it does last a while, I mean, you're never going to get the most out of that 2 minutes because, I mean, how many targets actually stay alive for 2 whole minutes? Honestly, I can only think of 2. The Scimitar in Kinnemer, and that's really only because it, keeps going in and out of Cloak, and the other one is the Valdore Juggernaut at the end of Corfez. And seriously, how many of you are playing Corfez on a regular basis? The ship does come with some other goodies, the first being the Maelstrom Quantum Torpedo, which is actually kind of interesting. I don't think it's going to break the torpedo meta or anything, but it does introduce an interesting style of gameplay. The way these torpedoes work is they actually build up a charge, so you can stack up to 3 charges of them, and when you fire them, basically however many charges you have, it'll fire that many torpedoes. So it's almost like it's building up its own high yield torpedo, but it will also be affected by your torpedo firing modes. So concentrate firepower, high yield, torpedo spread, even transport warhead. So depending on the number of charges you have and depending on which firing mode you're using, you are basically multiplying the amount of damage that your one torpedo shot will do. The thinking behind this was to kind of make your torpedo shots fire a bit more strategically because, I mean, right now we just spam our torpedoes like crazy like we do the rest of our weapons, but that wasn't the original intent with torpedoes. Originally, Star Trek Online kind of wanted you to fire them with more thought, basically. But with the power creep the way it is in Star Trek Online, strategy quickly went out the window in favor of just, spamming the spacebar. But yeah, these Maelstrom torpedoes are meant to be sort of hopefully a way to get back to that more strategic type of thinking. And I don't think it'll work in most cases. I feel like people are just gonna prefer to spam all this stuff. But for those of you who want that more tactical level thinking, this could very much be something for you because it will generate some nice spikes in DPS from what we saw in the live stream. With the full charges plus your torpedo firing modes, this thing has the potential to put out a lot of damage. That said, it does have a 30-second cooldown, which I don't like. That is a very long cooldown, and that's not good. Things die very quickly in Star Trek Online, and 30 seconds is a long time. Oh, I should also point out, they have a unique visual, too. If you look here, you can kind of see it. I'm sorry, the image is kind of blurry. It was very small. But they are modeled after the photon torpedoes that you see in the first movie. The blue torpedo that they fire when they're in the wormhole. That's, all blue and shiny. That's what these are modeled after. However, they did make them quantum torpedoes because, in the post TNG era, we often associate blue torpedoes with quantum torpedoes. So that's probably why they decided to make these quantums. They're also including some unique hangar pets with this ship as well. We are getting the new Kodai Command Fighter Squadron, which at first glance, they're basically identical stats-wise to the Valkyries, which is kind of intentional. But they're also getting a unique command integration ability, which means every time you activate one of your command inspiration abilities, these things will also get a free hit of Torpedo Spread 1. Being nearly identical to the Valkyrie pets, these things are already going to be very torpedo heavy, but that just means you're going to get that much more torp spreads out of them, which on a torpedo build, it would normally be very annoying because pets normally consume your concentrated firepower, but apparently that is about to change. Jonathan Herlock announced on the live stream that Concentrate Firepower is being tweaked, so it will now have 2 separate timers for player vessels and non-player vessels, which means you can still support your fighters with Concentrate Firepower, but they will not eat your own player version of Concentrate Firepower. So, no more pets stealing your CF3. Unfortunately, players will still be able to steal your Concentrate Firepower, but I feel like they want to keep that because Concentrate Firepower is also intended to be sort of a support ability, so they want you to be able to spread the Concentrate Firepower around, and that is still kind of a good thing because otherwise you take that away, then you kind of screw up a lot of the existing support builds that I know a number of people run. But But yeah, I am really excited about that because it's going to be a complete game changer as to what sort of pets you can use with a torpedo build. Right? You know, you're not just going to be restricted to the Toduge fighters or the Alliance fighters. You're going to be able to put really whatever you want now because you don't have to worry about your pets stealing your concentrate firepower. And that's really nice for this ship in particular because, you know, as I've said in the past, the Akira needs to be a torpedo build, and if it's going to have pets, it should also have pets that spam torpedoes as well, just so you can have the visual of torpedoes flying everywhere. So with these pets not stealing your concentrate firepower, you're going to have torpedoes flying everywhere. It's going to be great. I'm really excited to try this out. One more thing about these Kodai fighters. Now, on the live stream, they were just using the Valkyrie skins, but that is not the skin that they are going to have when they go live. They are actually going to have this. These are the Federation fighters from Star Trek Starfleet Command 2. So once again, we are getting another fighter pet from an old Star Trek game placed into Star Trek Online. So yeah, TMP era fighters with a TMP era Akira. Honestly, Space Barbie wise, this thing is amazing. Coupled with the fact that it is going to be really good for a torpedo build, I am very excited for this because I have always wanted an Akira that can be a torpedo build. That said, it is not everything that I had hoped. There are some things that I would have done differently. For one, I don't like the secondary Miracle Worker seat. That's going to impact the number of unconventional systems triggers you're going to be able to have on this ship, which is annoying because neither Command nor Miracle Worker have any abilities that have the ability to trigger unconventional systems. Though I imagine Miracle Worker's inclusion was sort of a compromise, because I know a lot of people were really wanting this to also be a beam boat. I don't know why, because it's a torpedo boat, but yeah, a bunch of you wanted it to be a beam boat. So there you go. You have that option. Thank you for screwing up this ship. Okay, that's a bit harsh. This is still a good ship, but still, come on. Why do you gotta ruin this for me? Anyway, enough yelling at you guys. Also, it's a 5-3, which again I feel like was meant to kind of compromise the ability to fly either a torpedo build or a beam build on it, but I still would have preferred 4-4 so I could put more mines in the back. And it did get a hangar bay, which, I mean, was something I didn't really care about because I wanted it to be a warship, but I know that was important to a lot of people, but I know a lot of people would have preferred a flight deck carrier instead of a multi-mission cruiser, which, honestly, with the change to concentrate firepower, I kind of would have preferred that over this as well. Because, you know, one hangar bay is nice, but two is definitely going to be more fun. So yeah, not exactly what I was hoping it would be, and frankly, not exactly what I think a number of people were hoping it would be, but the whole thing feels like a compromise between both styles. So I feel like this is going to have enough mass appeal that I feel like enough people are going to be happy about it. Like, okay, yeah, this is a good enough ship. Like, and plus it's gorgeous too. I feel like enough people are going to be won over by that alone. So yeah, as much as I'm kind of like about some things, I'm still really hyped for it because it's just, Legendary Akira. I'm really excited to play around with this just because, well, for one, it's going to be able to do a good amount of things because torps and beams. So I'm going to have a variety of different builds to put on this thing, which means, you know, I'm going to have a variety of fun on it. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing. Now for the other new ship in this Legendary bundle, next is the Legendary Valdore, and I am very excited about this because, one, the Valdore is getting a revamp, not just the new skin, but the original, like, base Valdore is also getting a revamp, which I am very happy about because, one, the Valdore is a cool-looking ship, and it's also the last of the old-school canon Romulan ships to yet to have a revamp. Well, I guess the Romulan scout ship from TNG, that hasn't gotten a revamp either. But, I mean, that's a small craft. It's basically the Romulan version of the captain's yacht in Stowe, so I don't think they're going to bother with that because it's not T6. But yeah, not only is the Valdore getting a revamp, but for its legendary skin, they are giving it that fin on the back of it, which you may recognize from Star Trek Lower Decks in the episode Crisis Point 2. So yeah, not only is this a revamped Valdore, it's a Lower Decks ship. Not only that, but this is going to be the first Lower Deck ship that isn't a lockbox or promo ship. So here we are, the stats for the Legendary Valdore Temporal Ops Strike Wing Escort Warbird. Holy crap, that is a long title. But yeah, stats-wise, I'm very happy with this ship. I mean, 5.2 weapons layout, good amount of tactical consoles, but, you know, nice amount of everything else as well. It's a Strike Wing Escort, so it's got a hangar bay. The seating on it is really nice too. It's a temporal ship, so it's got a commander level temporal ship and a lieutenant commander universal / pilot seat. That means you're going to be able to use Clean Getaway as an unconventional systems trigger, or because this is Lieutenant Commander, you're also going to be able to use Reinforcement Squadron to summon in more fighter pets. You also have the option to use Synthetic Good Fortune to build up a nice amount of crit chance. Again, this is a proper legendary ship, so it will have the full Valdore console set from the older ships, as well as the starship traits from any of the older versions, which means this thing's going to have emergency weapon cycle on it. So if you don't already have that starship trait, this will be a good way to get that unlocked on your whole account as well, because this ship, way better than the Avenger, or the, not the Avenger, the Arbiter, or the Moog, or the original Moguys. But again, being a legendary ship, it's also going to have a new starship trait, and this one is called Temporal Replication. This one's a little weird. Basically, anytime you use a temporal ability that builds up entropy, or if you just use a commander level bridge officer ability, it has a chance to trigger another temporal ops ability that will consume entropy. For every stack of entropy on your target, you will have a 20% chance to trigger any of the following abilities: Timeline Collapse 1, Rapid Decay 1, or Gravimetric Conversion 1. Now, this is an interesting trait, but I don't think it's something that a lot of people are going to be using on this ship, because the whole building and taking away of entropy is really better off on full EPG builds, you know, crazy space science magic stuff. So the ability to build and take away more entropy and also generate more temporal anomalies, that actually might be more helpful on that sort of, you know, sciencey space magic builds, more so than something that's going to be more weapons heavy like the Valdore here. That said, they did include some other things to help further feed into this starship trait, because this will also include some new hangar pets. They are called the Temporal Ops Scorpions Fighter Squadron. They're a bit like the Kodai fighters that we saw on the Legendary Akira. These are basically, on the surface, they are normal Scorpion fighters, but they also include this Temporal Ops integration ability. In this case, every time one of the Scorpion fighters lays out an attack, it has a chance to build up entropy on an enemy target. Having more entropy builders is good for this starship trait, because the higher the amount of entropy on your target, the greater the chance of it triggering. So yeah, really interesting setup that they're trying to go for, but frankly, this starship trait and these pets, I feel like would work far better on something like the Eternal, which is a full temporal ship and a science ship. You'll get far more use out of the entropy give and take on a science ship than you would this, but it's a very interesting idea, and I feel like, you know, some people will have fun with it. But overall, I think people are going to be more interested just in the general fact that we have a Valdore now that actually has good seating and a good weapons layout. And frankly, that is the main reason why I'm excited about this, because it's a Mogai that doesn't suck. Look at this, 5-3 weapons layout. I mean, it'll be great for beam overload or cannon scatter volley. You'll be able to put recursive shearing on it. The pilot abilities will make it kind of interesting since the revamp. Yeah, I'm hyped about this. Oh, a couple of things I didn't mention about the Mogai. One, it is going to have an enhanced Romulan battle cloak, which that's cool. Pretty sure the other one only has a normal battle cloak, so enhanced Romulan battle cloak, that's better. Honestly, not much better, because it just means you're going to be able to fire torpedoes while you are cloaked, and that's not going to be super useful on something that's not a torpedo build, but I mean, you got the option. The other thing is that during the live stream, someone brought up asking if they could add the plasma quad cannons to the legendary Mogai, because currently there is no way to get those on an account unlock since they moved all the lower tier ships over to the dilithium store. Jonathan Herlock said that was something he hadn't thought of doing, but said he would look into it, because if it is an easy thing to move over, he would do it. But if it's not an easy thing, that might not happen. So, you know, fingers crossed that it turns out to be a simple changeover. The last thing to go over is that this is a legendary bundle, so it's going to have a bunch of extra stuff in it, because, you know, they always like to pad the value of these things. So the additional things that this thing is going to come with, it's going to have 2 ship slots, 2 experimental upgrade tokens, 2 Federation Junior Cadre packs, which I'm pretty sure those are duty officer packs, 2 Romulan Survivor duty officer packs, the 23rd Century Vulcan Ambassador outfit. They said the mercenary set, which I'm not 100% sure what that is. That might be the mercenary costume in the C store, which, if that is the case, that's kind of lame. Playable Cardassians, which seems weird because I don't know what in this is linked to Cardassians, and the Cyborg Miracle Worker Bridge Officer, which I'm assuming this is going to be a Romulan version of the existing Klingon and Federation Miracle Worker Science Duty Officers, Bridge Officers that came in the Discovery Operations bundle. Frankly, I'm not overly impressed with the additional things that are included in this thing because remember, I compared this to the Legendary Warbird bundle, which is the same price and also came with 2 legendary starships. So let's compare the two. Okay, we got my notes here, and we got the Legendary Warbird bundle over here. So both came with legendary ships. This one comes with the Legendary Akira and the Legendary Mogai. The Legendary Warbird bundle came with the Legendary Denderidex and Legendary Scimitar. Alternatively, this one also came with a C-Store ship coupon, 2 experimental upgrades, 2 ship slots, 4 duty officer packs, as well as the TOS Romulan uniforms. Oh, that's neat. The TNG Romulan uniform, based on a bunch of uniforms, Reman uniform, and playable Remans. Whereas this new bundle comes with 2 costumes, playable Cardassians for some reason, a bridge officer, also comes with 4 duty officer packs, but does not come with a 100% off coupon. Frankly, it feels like we're getting gypped a little bit because not only was this Warbird bundle 35% off when it was launched, whereas this new one is only going to be 30% off, but this one also came with a 100% off coupon. This doesn't, and frankly, that's annoying. Do I think that's going to stop people from buying this new Legendary bundle? No, because, you know, Legendary Akira and Legendary Valdore, those have been highly anticipated ships, and frankly, they did a really good execution of them, so I feel like that's going to be the big pull here. But frankly, the fact that they included a 100% off coupon in this bundle, which is very similar to this bundle, but didn't include one in here, well, you know what I'm saying here. It feels like we're being kind of gypped in comparison. Now, they do still have 2 weeks before this new bundle is being released, so hopefully that can be remedied. I mean, we've seen last-minute changes to bundles before, i.e. the 13th anniversary bundle. So, yeah. Cryptic, if you're listening, the addition of a 100% off coupon would be really nice considering that you did it before. Why didn't you do it here? So yeah, that is the Legendary Akira and the Legendary Mogai. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you impressed by the ships? Do you think they could have done a bit better? Or do you just not like them all? Or are you as hyped as I am? Let me know in the comments down below. And let me know what you think about the bundle itself down below too, because I mean, like I said, I'm not super impressed by those extras, especially when you compare it to the Legendary Romulan Warbird bundle. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that too, or better yet, let Cryptic know what you think about that, because you know, I'm just a YouTuber, I can't change anything, but you know, they can, hopefully. But yeah, while you're down in the comments, be sure to hit like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. If you would like to further support the channel, you can hit that join button to become a member for additional perks on the channel, or you can hit that super thanks button or find the link to the merch store in the video's description. Either way, thank you so much for watching. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.